On Larry King Now, I welcome songwriting legend Diane Warren. You always wanted to be a songwriter?
Yeah, ever since I was little, yeah.
Do you know where it came from?
You know, I don't, because, you know, my family wasn't musical, so it just, you know, kind of happened. I'm kind of a mutant, I always say.
Was there a moment you knew, I've made it?
You know, I still don't, you know? It's weird. Like, I know I have, but I think in my mind, I don't feel like I have, which I think is cool in a way because it keeps you hungry.
Tell me about the whole Lady Gaga experience.
She's great. She's the real deal. And that's the thing about Gaga. I mean, you know, her discipline, her work ethic, her talent.
Plus,
some of my experiences, the bigger the artist, the more talented, the nicer they are. Then someone with a little teeny bit of success are kind of assholes.
All next on Larry King Now. Welcome to Larry King Now, one of the contemporary music's most accomplished and sought-after songwriters and producers, Diane Warren. Decades-long career has spawned over 100 top 10 hits, 8 Academy Award nominations, 12 Grammy Award nominations, including a Grammy win. She's worked with the industry's finest act like Whitney Houston, Adele, Celine Dion, Mary J. Blige, Kelly Clarkson, and Carrie Underwood, just to name a few. More recently, she collaborated with the one and only Lady Gaga to pen the powerful anthem, Till It Happens to You, which lifted the veil on the often untold pain experienced by sexual assault victims. The song was featured in the 2015 documentary, The Hunting Ground, received both a Grammy and an Academy Award nomination. You always wanted to be a songwriter?
Yeah, ever since I was little, yeah.
Do you know where it came from?
You know, I don't, because, you know, my family wasn't musical, so it just, you know, kind of happened. I'm kind of a mutant, I always say.
At what age do you remember wanting it?
I remember being like 7 or 8, and I have older sisters, and I remember seeing the little name. You know, I remember the names, too. I remember Goff and King. It was up on the roof, you know, The Drifters or something like that. I can't remember which version of that song. It was originally a song by The Drifters. But I remember seeing the name and going, I want to be there. Of course, now there's no more records and there's no more. You can't even find credits anymore. It's so hard.
Do you do lyrics as well?
I do words and music. I write by myself. You know.
I asked Alan J. Lerner once, are you a poet? And he said, no, I'm a songwriter.
There's a difference. There's a difference. One is to be read and one is to be sung. Big difference.
Big difference. Big difference in the writing, right?
Yeah. Different. It's a different craft, different art form.
Did you have a hero when you were a kid, a songwriter that you said, boy, I want to be like him or her?
Yeah, I mean, all the Brill Building writers and the Beatles, and, you know, I had so many heroes growing up.
How about the Porters and the Gershwins?
Oh, yeah.
Berlin.
Well, Irving Berlin's my hero. He wrote songs by himself. He had his own publishing.
Couldn't read music.
You know, either can I, barely. I mean, I really can't, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
It
would take me an hour.
What was your first hit?
My first big hit was a song called Rhythm in the Night, which was 31 years ago. 31 years ago. Well, I wrote it when I was 2, you know.
You made forces joining with Lady Gaga on Till It Happens to You.
Yeah.
Tell me a little history of that song.
You know, the movie The Hunting Ground, you know, a friend of mine, Bonnie Greenberg, was the music supervisor on it, and she told me, you know, the stories of, like, the movie wasn't done yet. I didn't see footage, actually, but she told me about what went on with these girls, and it was just kind of horrifying, and I'd had my own experience with, you know, a situation in my life, and I thought, you know, I want to write a song about this. And
you had that experience?
You know, it was more molestation when I was a kid. You know, it wasn't rape, but it's all you know, sexual assault, isn't it? It's all terrible, you know, and it stays with you. It doesn't it doesn't really leave you. And I got really inspired and you know, wrote the song.
Tough song to write?
No. You know.
Now, early in May, Kesha performed Till It Happens to You at a Humane Society event that honored you, right?
Powerful, yeah.
And you say that the song, more than just an anthem for sexual assault, but for all creatures who are abused.
Yeah, I think what I loved about, you know, because, you know, even when I wrote the song, I of course wanted it to mainly be about this movie, about what the movie's about, but, you know, I wanted it to be, you know, when I write a song for a movie or for anything, but like, say for a movie, it has to, first of all, the most important thing is it has to fit within that movie, but what I really want is that song to take a life of its own, and it could be whatever, especially with a song like Till It Happens to You, it could be about anything. It could be about if you're bullied, it could be about if you go through something terrible in your life where everybody just goes, you know, it takes time and it'll be okay. Well, when you're going through that, you don't feel that. And certainly with what animals go through, and I'm a big animal activist.
Now, what do you make of Kesha herself in the midst of a public legal fight? They dismissed the sexual assault charges, but she's still trying to get out of the contract. Are you close to her? What do you know about that whole case?
You know, I've gotten to know her. I feel terrible for her. You know, she's really, you know, she's the real deal. You can't tell with some of the records she's made, but she's a real artist. I mean, did you see her on the Billboard Awards? You know, I thought that was a highlight when she sang "It Ain't Me, Babe." You know, my own experience when she sang "Till It Happens to You," and you know, I was like believing every word.
Do you believe her, what she says, what happened to her?
I mean, I believe, it's kind of hard. I wasn't there, but I believe there's, you know, something to be said. I don't think she's just doing this to get out of her contract.
So you wish her luck in getting out of the contract?
I hope yeah, I really hope. And I think you know, he should let her go anyways, because you know, what's the point you're trying to make? Even trying to stop her on the, you know, from performing. Ultimately, he let her get on there. You know, I don't even. What are you trying to do? Stop someone from singing? I mean, it's really makes you a villain, doesn't it? You know.
If she leaves his label, would you work with her more?
Absolutely, I'd love to work with her more. Yeah, I think she's great.
Do you often work with a singer? I mean, or do you sit alone and write songs? Or does someone say to you, write a song for me and I'll write with you?
Mainly the second thing. You know, I write a song, I think, you know, this song could be great for you, this song could be great. Or I get inspired, or, you know, on a rare occasion I write something with somebody.
What's the process?
You know, I come up with an idea, you know, it could be a title, or I could just be, you know, playing chords, you know, on the piano or on a guitar. You know, I write on both instruments, mainly piano. You know, I just, you know, I don't think about it. You know, I show up. I go to work every day, basically.
You ever written for a Broadway musical?
I haven't yet. No.
Wouldn't that be next?
I mean, you know, I don't know if I'm. I mean, someone is supposedly you know, doing a show, you know, based on my songs. You know, right now I don't know how that's
Carole King is a big hit.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, I don't know.
Have you seen that show?
I haven't seen it, but I hear it's
beautiful.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with those songs, right?
It's a great
such
show.
Great songs. And I'd love to see it. But yes, I would like someone to do something like that. And as far as a Broadway show, though, it takes too long.
Is it, in your field, an equal playing field, women songwriters and male songwriters?
In my experience, yes, because it's all about the song. I think where it's not equal is like record producers. Like when you say I'm a producer, I'm really not a producer. I'm pretty much strictly a songwriter. You don't see a lot of women record producers. It's like women directors. You know, I can't even, you know, name them.
They're coming along, though.
Yeah. But I mean, it's what I'm saying is, it's like the producer, you know, in a record is like the director, and you really don't see. But yeah, it's crazy that even there's a conversation about that, right? Like.
So there is some discrimination.
I think in the production side of it, yeah.
Our guest is Diane Warren, and we're talking about a wonderful song she wrote, Till It Happens to You. It'll become a classic. We'll be right back with Diane after this. We're back with the great Diane Warren. What a talent. When was there a moment you knew, I've made it?
You know, I still don't, you know? It's weird. Like, I know I have, but I think in my mind, I don't feel like I have, which I think is cool in a way because it keeps you hungry. Like, I know I have, right? I mean, you know, but I just feel like I'm just beginning. I feel
so you're
like
always driven.
Totally driven. I feel like I'm still, you know, the kid from Van Nuys that hasn't had a hit yet, you know. So I mean, I have that mentality. You know?
So do you work alone?
I do.
At home?
No, I go to work. I have to go to an office or I'd be a hermit.
So you go to a work where there is a piano?
Yeah. I have keyboards. I have studios. You know.
Do you write all the time?
Yeah.
What makes, this is probably unanswerable, what makes a hit song?
I mean, there's a lot of ingredients. It has to be, you know, a great song. Well, not every hit's a great song. Not even every hit of mine's a great song. But, you know, let's say, okay, it has to start with the song being of somewhat quality, catchy. But there's a lot of things that go into it, too. It has to be promoted. It has to be, I mean, you could have the best song in the world, the hugest hit. If a label isn't behind it, nothing's going to happen to it.
You write rap?
I don't write rap, but I've worked with rappers. I worked with Snoop. A couple of years ago, I did a song called, well, it was called The Good and he was, you know, it was kind of, you know, comparing, you know, weed to a relationship. But he was Snoop Lion, and he couldn't say So he said that we have to call it the good good. And so I was like, I was censored by a rapper. It was pretty awesome. And I just worked with Big Sean, who's another rapper. But I have them sing.
I love Snoop.
Oh, he's the best. Have you interviewed him?
Oh, many times.
Did you bring a nice,
Oh, I have
with
fun with him. I've been on his show. In fact, when you're around him, you get high, but you don't have to smoke.
No, he was in my studio. I was breathing.
The room, yeah.
But then I made the mistake of having a couple of hits of very strong weed, and I ate a whole pizza. That was fun. I really did. It was a large.
Do you collaborate a lot?
No, very rarely.
Okay. How about new talent?
I always love new talent. I'm always excited about new talent.
Are you looking all the time?
I'm always looking for someone that excites me, someone new that excites me. And you want them to have everything behind them, though. I mean, you want them to have a label, hopefully, behind them, or good management, or something.
Someone who'd say, I'd like to write for you.
Yeah.
You ever write for Sinatra?
No, isn't that a bummer? I wish I could have. It was I wasn't, established at all yet. I would have loved to have written.
Well, he's gone 20 years. You could have written for him.
I would have loved to, but I guess.
He was very particular, but he'd have loved your work.
Oh, wow.
What about the rise of streaming services and Spotify and Apple Music and Tidal? Does it bother you?
It doesn't bother me, but I think some of them should probably pay songwriters and publishers and artists a little more than they're paying.
It doesn't bother you, though?
That bothers me, yeah. Where it bothers me is for people coming up. I mean, that how can you have to? I mean, that's why
It's a singles market now, right?
But it's always been a singles market. It started as a singles market.
Tell me about the whole Lady Gaga experience. You work with her. You're doing an album with her.
I'm not doing an album with her. I've done a few songs with her for this.
What is she like to work with?
She's great. She's the real deal. And that's the thing about Gaga. I mean, her discipline, her work ethic, her talent is.
She reinvents herself.
Oh, she does.
But she has a hell of a voice.
She has a great voice. I think last year when she did Sound of Music, everybody was like, what? And then this year, where I think when she did that performance of Till It Happens to You with those kids up there, I think that's an all-time great performance in history. That was spectacular.
You must have been thrilled.
Yeah, I was crying. I mean, I cried twice. That and then And the Winner is not my song. No, but I cried more after she performed. That was pretty. I mean, everybody in that audience was on their feet crying.
I think they thought you'd win.
I think everybody thought I'd win, including
win?
me. The Sam Smith song from James Bond that no one really heard, and it was I think it was shocking to him as well. I mean, I don't mean no one heard it, but I don't think anybody, I think, I don't know. But I think that the fact is that my song is has such a life of its own, and I think it'll last a long time.
It was a shock. Will you have songs on Lady Gaga's new album?
I think so, yeah. There's a couple that she loves that we did, so hopefully they'll be on there.
Do songs run through your head?
Sometimes. I'm not somebody who dreams up songs and goes, let me write that. I have to kind of work at it.
Errol Garner, who wrote Misty,
oh yeah, beautiful song,
told this story to me years ago. He was driving in a car with a friend, and he was humming da-da-dee, da-da-dee, da-dee, and the friend says, that's pretty. And Errol Garner says, I heard it somewhere on the radio. Wow. Then he hummed it a little more, and the friend said, where did you hear it?
Wow.
He said, I don't think you heard it. I think it's in your head.
Wow.
And he didn't read music out of it. So
what a great song, what a great melody.
And he wrote the lyric, went back, and a friend wrote the lyric.
Wow. Beautiful piece of music.
And you know it from a couple of notes. Look at me.
Right. Yeah, just those intervals are it's just iconic.
Songs are like that.
Right, absolutely. The great ones.
The great ones. Yeah, you're right. When we return, we'll discuss the legacy of the late, great Prince. And we'll play a little game of If You Only Knew with the great Diane Warren. We'll be right back. We're back with Diane Warren. We recently lost a legend, Prince. I did a long interview with him, which they kept playing.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Did you ever meet him?
I met him a couple of times, and what a sad situation, and one of the best artists historically of all time that will ever be.
Did he write his own stuff?
Oh yeah. And he wrote not only the songs he wrote for himself, but that he wrote for other people. Whether it's Sinead O'Connor with Nothing Compares to You, or Manic Monday, Bangles, and tons in between. I mean, his songs were great. He did everything. He's one of the best guitar players. I mean, last year it's funny because my one experience with him is I wrote a really big hit for a girl named Paloma Faith. And it was his favorite song. He really loved the song, and he asked, his manager called and asked if he could buy it, and he wanted to rewrite the lyrics. I go, no, he doesn't have to buy it. You know, it's not for sale, but you know, he could do whatever he wants with it and do his own version and stuff. And then I didn't hear back, but I guess live he was performing it all over the place, and I tracked it down.
What song was it?
It's called "Only Love Can Hurt Like This." And his version is, you don't really hear it. He made it his own song. It's like, you know, you can hardly tell, but it's really Purple Rain-ish. It's really cool. It's an honor.
He was a great artist, right?
Great. One of the all-time.
Are any of your songs truth, autobiographical?
You know, yeah, some
Have you
slip
been hurt
in there.
in love?
I've been hurt.
And that can transform into a lyric, right?
Yeah, sure, of course.
And when you've been happy, that can transform it.
Sure.
We never know where it's coming from, right?
You never do. That's the fun of it.
What about Whitney Houston?
One of the best, too. I mean, it's just sad when you think of Prince or Whitney or Michael. It's just so tragic that all in their prime, where they had so much more, you know, they had so much more to give. You know, none of these artists were at their, you know, over yet.
What was she like to work with?
The best. Like, you know, it's interesting. I found some of my experiences, the bigger the artist, the more talented, the nicer they are.
Yeah, true.
And then someone, I'm sure you have too, right?
Absolutely.
Then someone with a little teeny bit of success are kind of assholes.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, they can't, you know.
The one record wonder.
You know, and, you know, you know, you've seen a lot more than me, but I've seen my own version of that. And what I was really impressed about Whitney is not a diva, no attitude, sweet, really kind, you know, and talented beyond belief. The singer of her time.
We'll play a little game of If You Only Knew. I just throw some questions at you.
Okay.
Best piece of advice you ever got?
God, I don't even, you know, when you have to think of it, God, I don't know. I don't even know what it is.
All right. Is there someone you still consider a role model?
My cat. She doesn't take anything seriously.
Most promising up-and-coming talent?
God, there's not one. I mean, there's not like one singular that comes, but there's, you know what's really exciting? I mean, you know, not naming certain names, but what I like, there's like these young girls I've been hearing in the last few weeks, they're doing like soul music. And they're like 20, they're not doing, it doesn't sound like all the Disney stuff. It sounds like it sounds like they're more influenced by Adele, which is cool, which I'm excited about that. You know what I mean? Something more substantial.
Most music we'd be surprised you listen to?
They'd probably be surprised I don't really listen to a lot of music when when I go home. I don't, because I've been doing it all day. You know, it's like you know what I mean. It's like when I'm kind of immersed in it from, you know, morning till night. And then
Did you have a hit that surprised you?
They all surprise me. There's so much that can go wrong. You know.
Was there a song you absolutely thought couldn't miss, loved, hit the top, and didn't?
You have an hour?
Thing you'd most like to change about the music industry if you could wave a wand?
Oh, man. More smart people. More smart people making important decisions.
Something people don't know about you?
That deep inside, I'm really shy.
Most starstruck you've ever been?
Meeting Paul McCartney.
An artist you'd love to work with?
Wow. Not one doesn't come to mind, but I'm so lucky to work with so many great artists.
What's on your bucket list?
I don't know. Maybe having a life. I don't know.
Artists from yesteryear you wish you had the chance to work with?
Well, you brought up Sinatra. That's definitely one. I would have.
Piece of advice you'd give to someone trying to break into the music industry?
You know, be great, work hard, you know, have a thick skin.
If not music, what would Diane Warren be doing?
Rolling a cart down the street with a cup in my hand and playing guitar and hoping somebody was kind enough to put some money in it.
Maybe with a monkey and an organ grinder.
Yeah, I like monkeys. It could have been a monkey or maybe a cat or a parrot. You know, there wasn't a plan B.
What's with you and cats?
I love them. I love animals. I'm a huge animal lover. I prefer them to people. What do you like better?
I like dogs.
You like dogs better than people?
About the same.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, you know, dogs.
I like dogs better than people.
They love you.
Yeah, it's
But
unconditional.
it's kind of stupid love.
But it's great love. It's great
Yeah,
love.
but you feed them so they love you.
Yeah. Isn't that nice? It keeps it simple. You know, they don't care what you did that day. They don't, you know.
I got a
you
king
didn't
cardinal.
You have a what?
King cardinal. It's with the ears. And
Oh.
British dog, a lap dog.
Aw.
But he would run away.
Oh, really?
He'd go with anybody who picked him up. If you picked him up, he loves everybody.
Oh, that's nice, though.
He loves
Kind of.
everybody, kids.
You should get a parrot. I have a parrot, too. They only love one person.
Does he talk?
No, and he bites now. He's kind of old. He started out really nice.
In our final moments, Diane will take your questions. Stay with us. Till It Happens to You, one of the great songs ever. Diane Warren is our guest.
Thank you.
And she wrote it. Before we get to some social media questions, you worked with Michelle Obama on a song. Tell us about This Is For My Girls.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. It's a song I'd written, you know, about five years ago, and I'd always kind of envisioned it being, you know, a bunch of divas singing it. You know, this is for my girls all around the world. Actually, the lyric is "Stand up, hold your head up, don't take no shit from nobody." But we cleaned it up for the White House. Don't take nothing from nobody. And you know, a friend of mine came to me and told me about this Michelle Obama project, and would it be okay to use the song? And I'm like, you kidding me? And so we approached all these artists, and you know, some said no, but enough amazing ones said yes. I mean, I have Missy Elliott rapping on my song. That's pretty cool. You know, Kelly Clarkson, Kelly Rowland, Janelle Monáe, Zendaya. It's pretty cool. And Michelle Obama is awesome. You know, like she's so cool. I wish she was running for president. I hope she does someday.
Was this something the First Lady contacted you about?
I guess not personally contacted me.
Was the president involved in this?
I don't think so. I think it's more her thing.
Are you friends with her now, Michelle?
I mean, not friends. I don't know her well, but I've seen her a few times now. She likes me. She invited me to her lunch, which was nice.
She's
You know,
great.
she's amazing. She's
Smart
so
as a
passionate,
whip.
so smart.
Okay, we have some social media questions. Aaron Henderson on the Larry King Now blog. You've written so many incredible songs and worked with so many huge talents. What was it like to work with the following people? Celine Dion.
Amazing. I mean, you know, it's like working with a great actor. I mean, when you work with a vocalist like Celine, it doesn't get better.
She's very passionate about
Yeah,
her
oh my
work.
God, she's so, like, she's another all-timer.
Whitney Houston, you've already answered. Aerosmith.
Amazing. Steven Tyler, a rock star. He'll be a rock star when he's 100. He's just an eternal rock star.
Cher.
Same thing. Cher, you know, Cher's going to have the farewell tour when she's 100 years old in a wheelchair, and she's going to go, I'm giving it up, I'm retired. She's never going to give it up. It'll be the You Haven't Seen the Last of Me tour, which is a song I wrote for her.
Adele.
Amazing, amazing. You know, great singer.
Ann Dawson on the Larry King Now blog. Do you think singing competitions like The Voice and American Idol has a positive effect on the industry?
Yeah, I think it does. I think it did. You know, it gave a lot of people chances and made a lot of people, you know, artists and stars. I mean, gave them a shot. So yeah.
There was no downside to it.
No,
was there?
it's just it's kind of odd right now, like something like The Voice, where really, you know, a lot of seasons and no one's really broken through. I think what's bad about it when it becomes more about the judges than the talent.
Yeah, good point.
You know.
Cheryl Connors on Twitter. When is the last time you heard someone else's song and thought, that is genius?
Wow. It's happened, but I can't think of one. I mean, genius, like, I don't know.
At CD Italia, will you be working with Celine Dion on her upcoming English language album?
Yeah, we talked about it. Yeah, I'll be working on it.
At Seek Divine Truth on Twitter, if you could change one thing about this world, what would it be?
Stop all animal cruelty, which means stop eating animals, stop displaying them. That's what I would
Are you a
change.
vegan?
I'm almost a vegan. I'm 90%. I'm all vegetarian, but I'm almost a vegan. I will be a vegan.
What are you not vegan?
Every now and then I'll have a piece of cheese pizza. So that, you know, and I'll take most of the cheese off because it kind of grosses me out. So I don't know. I'm almost there, but I should be and I will be.
At AK Science Star on Twitter, what's the best song you feel you've ever written?
I mean, well, in a weird way, I feel like I haven't written my best song yet. But, you know, certainly one of them would be Till It Happens to You. Or a song I did for Beyonce called I Was Here. That's another one.
At all age, what's she like to work with?
Amazing. And again, we're talking about the people that are the most successful being the nice. She was nice and she worked hard. That's something that some of these people have. I mean, the work ethic. If you take Lady Gaga or Celine or Beyonce, their work ethic is just on point.
At All Eight on Twitter, has anyone ever passed on a recording on one of your songs and the song went on to be a hit with someone else?
Just about every one of them, yeah.
Were passed by others?
Yeah, yeah. A lot of them. A lot of them. I mean, yeah. That's always fun when they become hits.
You ever throw it up to them?
Yeah.
At Big Sigsaw on Twitter asks, any plans to work with rapper in the near future?
I just worked with Big Sean, so yeah.
Now, how could Diane Warren write a rap song?
It's not necessarily a rap song, but I can get her like with Sean or with Snoop. They sang, and it works. And what was interesting about like Big Sean and Snoop, same thing, is they're so on with like my songs are really, they're not easy. They sound really simple and they're not. They're like rhythmically weird but the two rappers that I worked with were quicker than singers. It's an interesting thing, right? Because it's interesting, different.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you so much. This was fun.
Extraordinary talent. Great talking to you.
Thank you. As are you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Diane Warren. Big thanks to my special guest, one of music's finest talents, Diane Warren. You can always find me on Twitter at King's Things, and I'll see you next time.